What's going on, YouTube? Back again with another video. So in this video, I'm going to explain how you're being controlled through your sexuality, how your mind is controlled through your sexuality, how it's keeping you in a lower level of consciousness, which is keeping you from controlling your own reality for yourself and letting everybody else make the decisions for you. So why should you listen to me? My 6th YouTube video that I posted, if you go back and look, I posted a bunch of videos like a year or two ago, but when I started posting again, my 6th video blew up, got over 4,000 views. So let's get straight into it. So in America, in the West as a whole, everything is over-sexualized. And so people are being controlled, men and women alike, through their sexuality. So you see this with how women dress and how they are constantly seeking attention from men on the internet or in person. This is controlling them through their sexuality for their need of male validation and attention. And it's creating problems with females because they're digging way too deep into this and they need the validation and attention way too much. So they're giving up their morality for male attention. And then men are giving their attention to women. Their sexuality is controlled by having women put in front of them all the time. So it's over-sexualizing the men as well and keeping them constantly thinking about sexuality. That's the whole point, is both genders are constantly just focusing on sexuality, how they can get sexual attention from the other gender, right? So this is a problem in the West as a whole that is going on, and people are not in control of their own minds. They don't realize that the media and many other things are controlling their minds, right? With the way that they view things, the way that they look at other people, their actions, all of this gets bled out when you're over-sexualized. Just like me sitting here, you clicked on this video because I've got a shirtless photo of myself flexing my muscles outside in the sun, right? It's a very stimulating photo. So I took advantage of your own over-sexualization. If you're a female, you clicked on it because I look good. If you're a male, you clicked on it because you want to look like me. And so you think that because I look a certain way, I'm going to say certain special things, right? This is the control that people have on your mind. Just because someone looks a certain way doesn't mean that they know what they're fucking talking about, right? Now, if I made a video about working out and I look like this, then yeah, you could probably listen to me. But I'm making a video about sexuality and I'm taking advantage of y'all's sexuality to get you to click on the video. And many other people are doing this, right? If I put a woman in the thumbnail, I would get even more clicks. So many of y'all, your consciousness is being kept in a lower state through your sexuality. Your sexuality is used to keep you concerned with your sexuality. So my channel in general is about semen retention and teaching men to control their sexuality. They're not realizing that they're concerned with their sexuality constantly. That's why they're watching the videos. And this is a lower state of consciousness. You don't control your own reality. You click on my video because I'm talking about something that you want to hear, which is concerned with your sexuality. It's all about your sexuality. So this is a lower state of consciousness that the media and many people want to push you into this lower state of consciousness because you lose control over your own reality when you're constantly concerned with your sexuality, right? So what are some practical steps for you to learn to control your sexuality? The first one is don't concern yourself with the sexual attention of the opposite gender. You need to, a lot of y'all want to control your sexuality so that you can get sexual attention from the opposite gender, right? I was talking with a girl recently about celibacy, and the way I was describing it, she was like, that kind of makes me want to do it, right? And her main concern was that at the end of the day, she would be able to get more sexual attention from men because it would change her on an energetic level and make her more pure and desirable, right? So again, that's just doing the same thing. You think you're doing something different, but you're still doing the same thing. You're concerned with your sexuality. So you need to change your mental model and your mindset and understand that your goal is to stop wishing for sexual pleasure. It's not to control your sexuality so you get sexual attention. It's to control your sexuality so it doesn't control you. It's one or the other. It's black or white. You either control your sexuality or your sexuality controls you. And if you allow your sexuality to control you, other people will take advantage of that and control you. The people who are not controlled by their sexuality are going to take advantage of your lack of control. So understand that you have a problem with self-pleasure. The self-pleasure is a shameful thing. It's why you do it when you're alone and nobody is around and you won't be caught. Because it's a shameful thing and you know that you shouldn't be doing it. So you need to understand that that is your issue, is with pleasure. Your issue is with self-pleasure. You want to feel sexual pleasure. So in order to overcome this, you have to acknowledge, put your ego away and acknowledge that you have a problem with self-pleasuring and sexuality, and you're a little bit perverted, right? Your energy and your sexuality has become perverted because you concern yourself with, if you can't get it from the opposite sex, you'll give it to yourself. And it's just keeping your mind wrapped up in sexual pleasure, which quite literally, factually makes you a pervert. So people have perverted your mind through the media. Since you were a child, they've glorified sexuality and perverted your mind. And now here we are years later on the internet, people are taking advantage of your over-sexualization. So they continually sexualize ads. They continually push sexual content in front of you to continue to profit off of your lack of control over your own sexuality. So you need to understand that on a deep fundamental level, you have a problem with pleasure. And your problem is that you want sexual pleasure. That's fine. That's not a problem that you want sexual pleasure. The problem is that it's consuming you. And so now you have lost control over who you are and your own reality. And you're getting to a point where you can't even see it. You need someone like me to explain to you what you cannot see for yourself, because you haven't come to control your own reality. And it was because of the thumbnail. And I knew that if I had a photo of me looking good, people would click on it. So I took advantage of people's sexualization because I stepped out of my own sexuality and came to understand how I was being controlled through my sexuality. So you need to take that mental model and know you have a problem with pleasure and self-pleasuring, and you need to step away from that. If you will give up the fact that you want self-pleasure, you will begin to control your own sexuality and move out of that. But you have to give it up. You have to admit to yourself that you're a pervert and you have a problem with sexual pleasure. So you need to step away from that. If you step away from that, you now gain control over your sexuality, and you can now think about different things and see the world through a different lens that isn't just a sexual lens. All right? So that's it for the video. If y'all have liked this, give it a like, comment, whatever you think, and subscribe to the channel for more tips on how to control your own reality and take advantage of your own life.